Welcome to the Got Any Cows podcast. If you want to learn all you can about the beef cattle industry, this is the podcast for you. My name is Seth Christensen. My company has sent beef cattle genetics to 45 of the 50 states and 12 countries around the world. I've had the chance to learn from some of the best and brightest in the beef cattle industry, and I invite you to join me for those conversations here on the Got Any Cows podcast. Welcome to another episode of the Got Any Cows podcast. Appreciate you guys being here with us. We're recording this on June 3rd. So rather than be like the last couple auction podcast episodes where we've had all the cattle right here handy in these pens right behind me, today, this time of year, pretty well everything is out on pasture. So we rotational graze all over Cache Valley here. So Cache Valley straddles the Idaho-Utah border. So we're in extreme southern Idaho here. And so we've got cattle in a series of different locations down into Cove, Benida, Dayton, Weston. And in each of those locations, we've got some of these different animals that we're going to sell as well. So today we tried something a little different. Jacob was good to humor me and go around with me as we went into these different pastures and did our best to get some video of these animals that are selling to help you see and understand what those animals are. And, you know, it's been neat. It's been fun. It's been different doing these auction overview podcasts with the cattle. It presents some additional challenges to get the animals in versus just me talk to cattle or have another guest on to talk cattle with. But it has been really fun to be able to show those cattle and showcase those cattle and let you see what they are and hopefully talk you through why it is that they might be appealing to you to buy and or just what the value is to those cattle, whether or not you're buying. I hope we're able to provide value in this podcast. And, you know, it's fun. It's interesting, even just talking with Jacob about all the different things that we've done with this podcast. And it's interesting, the podcast has evolved from just having guests on, which was fun, which was good, which is neat. Well, I should say, truthfully, even in the beginning, it was kind of just all of us who work here at Christensen Genetics on the podcast. Then we started having guests on the podcast. Then we started having auction overview podcasts to kind of give you a deep dive on what's in our auctions, which should hopefully give you a deep dive on Akaushi in general and or Angus genetics in general. And then now having the cattle in the podcast to be able to show you the animals that we offer in these monthly auctions. And now showing you the cattle on pasture that are in these auction overview podcasts. And it's been fun kind of to see how that develops. Now, it's not a traditional marketing approach. Historically, if you're looking at how cattle are marketed, way back in the day, it'd be once annually a live in-person production sale, and that's it. And then that's maybe evolved to have maybe an online component of a live production sale. And then you get to where there's printed and mailed catalogs that have pictures of the cattle and write-ups on the cattle. And then you get to where there's some live sales that have, and or online sales that have just videos of the cattle online, just a quick snippet of the cattle, but there's no, you'd have to look at, I guess, the write-up or the footnotes or the description to get a feel for what those cattle are or why you should care. I've even seen things like the judge source. They've done audio footnotes, which has been kind of a neat option or a neat hybrid between the two. And I always appreciate and enjoy seeing innovation. People trying different approaches to, hey, how do we represent these cattle, or how do we show what these cattle are? So with that audio footnote approach, it was kind of a hybrid between a print option and then you could QR over to an audio footnote of the owners walking through what the cattle are. And this is a neat and unique and different way to present the cattle, to say, hey, the podcast is here to educate people, period. That's the goal of each and every one of these podcasts. I want to provide education. I want to provide value. You're taking your time to be here to watch and or listen. And again, would invite you to watch, whether that's at gotanycows.com, on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, any of those different platforms where you can watch a video of these animals and or just of the guests we have on. But I appreciate you guys taking the time to engage in this podcast, and I want to provide as much value as we can. And I feel like between expert guests, people that can provide some real perspective on everything from, new breeders to established breeders to to feed, to breeding, to embryo transfer, IVF, marketing, finance, all these different pieces. Hopefully providing value to you there. And then as we do these auction overview podcasts, hopefully providing value, whether you're looking to currently buy and actively buy in this month's auction, in the June auction, or in a future auction, or whether you're just looking to further educate yourself on what would you want and why. You know, within cattle at large, we deal with a lot of new breeders, and or within Akaushi in specific, if you're looking to get into Wagyu quality beef while still maintaining excellent quality cows, which is what the Akaushi do. But I have enjoyed being able to, I guess, present these cattle in this way and being able to show you what they are and walk you through in as immersive a format as we can with both audio and visual components. And, you know, it's not going to be perfect. I mean, you know, we did all of what we could out on pasture, and some animals are going to cooperate better than others. Some of our shots are going to be better than others. You know, but all of the animals, you know, to give you as good a chance as we can to see them, to walk you through why you may or may not be interested in buying them, what you'd kind of be looking at on those. So that's where we went and filmed this particular podcast episode is out on pasture. We went into the cattle, we looked at the cattle, we talked to the cattle, we went to multiple locations, multiple pastures. You know, it's an imperfect system as anything is, but you know, a unique and fun and different approach to give you a chance to see these cattle out on pasture. You know, I mean, these cattle do work for a living. They go out and graze. You know, you'll notice even, I mean, there's some of them grazing some pretty steep, pretty rocky type stuff, you know, over on the mountain in Dayton. And yeah, it'd be kind of fun to show you guys some of where we're grazing and to be able to see these cattle. But if you are looking at all and engaging in any way, shape, or form in this June auction, I'd invite you, if you haven't already, go to gotanycows.com. So the name of this podcast, gotanycows.com, and subscribe. If you do that, you'll get an email when this auction opens. And in that email, there'll be a link that'll take you over to the auction platform. So Smart Auctions hosts our auctions. cgauction.givesmart.com is the direct link if you ever want to go and see it. Currently, that would take you to our past sale, our May sale. If you went to cgauction.givesmart.com, by the time this publishes on the 11th, you know, it's quite likely that'll take you to the June auction. But that same platform, Smart Auctions, that's the auction catalog. That's the auction bidding platform. It is open for bidding from the moment it's live. And so you can bid on those cattle at any time. And I would invite you to bid early, because the best price you're ever going to get on any of those animals is the price they're at the day they open, and or as close to opening as possible. So I'd invite you to snag an early bid, get the better price, because yeah, I understand the thought process of, yeah, you know, I'll wait and then it's probably going to get a lot higher later, so why bid early? But sometimes it doesn't get that much higher later. You know, I mean, there's definitively cases where an early bid takes the thing home, you know, and if you want to get the very best price, you want to get the earliest bid, because if no one else enters a higher bid, you own it. And if someone else does own a higher bid, now you'll get a text message from Smart Auctions anytime you're outbid on a given lot. And so now, instead of having to worry about remembering when the thing's going to close, or did I not get on, or which lots was I interested in, go through as soon as, so subscribe at gotanycows.com, get the email, go to the cgauction.givesmart.com, see that catalog, place your bids as early as possible on all the lots that interest you, and then you've got the best price, and you'll get texted anytime you're outbid, which keeps you engaged throughout that bidding process. Then you don't worry about, you know, last minute, right at close. Without fail, every auction, every time, there's always someone that tells me, oh, you know, I was busy that day at that time, or I forgot, or I had something come up, or I wasn't able to be at the computer, or my connection lagged, or I didn't refresh at close and I thought I won it, but I didn't. You're a lot better off to just bid often, bid early. Don't wait right till the last minute. This auction is scheduled, it'll close, each of our auctions is scheduled for the last Wednesday of the month. So this month, that is June 24th. It'll be at 6 p.m. Mountain, so 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, is when this auction is going to close. And I'd invite you to make sure you have that on your calendar and be there when the auction closes, so that you have a chance, you know, if you are outbid on any of these lots that interest you, to be there to compete for those bids. Understand that this is a horse race style finish. So at close, every time there's a bid placed on any lot in the auction in the final 5 minutes, the entire auction will reset to 5 minutes. There'll be 5 more minutes of bidding available, 5 more minutes of bidding. So once there's a full 5 minutes that pass with no more bids, the auction will close. So the auction starts closing at 6 p.m. If there were no bids at all, it would close right at 6 p.m. Most of the time, it's going to go until 7 or 8 p.m., just depending on how much active bidding there is or isn't. That keeps that sale open as people continue to bid right there at close. But I'd invite you to get an early bid in, be there, bid early, bid actively, you know, and I'd invite you to make sure you get there, you know, and get these cattle bought. I mean, especially on the females and things like that, it is to your benefit to buy these cattle early, in the sense of as soon as you own that animal, it has the chance to start multiplying for you. 1 cow can become 2, can become 4, can become 8. I mean, truthfully, there is an exponential growth curve there. More aggressive if you're using technologies like female sex semen to make it so that you have strictly heifer calves. But even if you have half bull calves, you know, or eat half of them as steers, the sooner you get into them, the sooner that herd starts to grow for you. And that's one of the real benefits of getting into these high quality cattle, or spending a little bit of money to get good cattle to start with, instead of just any given animal, is they all take time and effort and money and feed to keep them alive and keep them reproducing. Why spend the time and effort and money and feed to reproduce junk? Even if it was cheap when you bought it, the buying the cattle is the cheap part. It is keeping the animals fed and cared for. That costs time, costs money in perpetuity, is an ongoing cost. And that time and feed invested will generate a significant and consistent return on investment if you started with quality. So we're multiplying quality, and every generation thereafter, quality on quality on quality, and just keep making them better. And now you're selling animals at a higher value because you invested in quality to begin with. Whereas if you invest in junk because you say, well, I bought this thing cheap, or I started with cheap, well, great, but you're gonna have a hard time saving your way out of all of the feed it takes to run these things, or all the time, or all the management. And so you're going to be a lot better off to have the quality to begin with than to be stuck marketing junk in perpetuity because you didn't want to spend the money on a little bit of quality up front. So there's my, I guess, speech on that. Buy quality, start with quality. Even if you just start with 1 or 2, start with just a few of them. It doesn't take that long. 1 becomes 2, becomes 4, becomes 8, becomes 16, 32. I mean, they really do multiply. It feels really slow when you're first getting started, but they'll multiply quite quickly. And you want to be multiplying quality cattle, not junk. It'll make your life a lot better. You'll make a lot better money at it. So I'll jump into what we have available in this auction is lot 1. This lot 1 offering we actually videoed on our last auction podcast. So in the May auction, we sold an IVF aspiration on this female. In the June auction, we are going to sell the female in her entirety. So Jacob's got video of this female that we'll go ahead and put on here from last time. But the female we're going to be looking at is an Angus female. She'd have been the last, I guess the only Angus female we filmed in May, right there at the tail end of that filming session, or recording session. But that female would be the 9044 cow, the Faith Rita 9044 female, and so we'll play that video, and I'll kind of talk through her and what she is, and why you'd want her, or where you'd be interested in a female like that. And then after that, we'll go through some of these other lots that we've just filmed today out on pasture. And then I can walk you through a couple things there towards close. But looking at lot 1, that Faith Rita 9044, that female, like I mentioned, Angus female, so she's going to be registered Angus, homozygous black, homozygous polled, an elite growth female while maintaining calving ease. So in most cases, birth weight and weaning weight are correlated. So what that turns into is, if you want really, really low birth weights for really, really easy calving, you're going to end up with lower weaning weights in most cases, which is, it's positive that you had the low birth weight, but it is negative that you had the low weaning weight. Positive for a low birth weight because they're born easy, negative for the low weaning weight because they're worth less because they weigh less if you're selling commercial calves. Conversely, if we get into high performance, high weaning weight cattle, and now there's a lot of pounds of pay weight to sell, which is a positive thing, but because birth weight's a correlated trait, in most cases you're going to see more birth weight, so i.e. potentially more assisted births, more issues at calving, more problems that way, because the two traits are correlated. So the challenge is, do I want low birth weight? Well, everyone wants low birth weight and everyone wants high weaning weight, but most of the time it is an either or proposition. It is not, I can have low birth weight and high weaning weight. And the 90-44 female, that's what makes her so unique, is she's an exception to that rule in that she is a low birth weight female and a high weaning weight female. And so you're going to see top 1% of the breed performance, so gainability, growth, weaning weight, yearling weight. Her EPDs are in the top 1% of the breed for growth, but then she's still in the top 15% of the breed for calving ease. And so you're not going to have these hard calving genetics in order to get the performance. You get both the calving ease and the growth. And so looking at a female like that, you know, a really solid base, if you're looking to get into the Angus marketplace, which Angus, I mean, to walk you through real briefly why we still breed both Angus and Akaushi, Angus is king when it comes to the commodity landscape in the United States. As far as commercial cattle in the United States, they are Angus or Angus based. It is a black cow herd in the United States that's driven by the demand for certified Angus beef, program way ahead of its time, markets north of 1 billion pounds of product annually. That demand for certified Angus beef, which requires a black hide to qualify for, so you got to be black Angus or a derivative thereof. You got to have a black hide to qualify for certified Angus beef. And if you qualify for that, you know, it's the largest, most established premium program in the United States, if not in the world. And that demand for that beef trickles back to demand for those feeder calves, trickles back to demand for genetics for cows, bulls, things like that. So a female like this, 90-44, positions you to be able to do things like produce bulls, Angus bulls, for sale into the commercial marketplace. It's going to be very, very marketable because they're easy calving and fast growing. And the beauty of a female like this is that she is confirmed pregnant with a heifer calf, and she comes with free delivery anywhere in the continental United States included. So if I'm sitting looking at lot 1, I know that I'm going to get not 1 female, but 2 for this purchase price. I'm not going to have to figure out how to get her from Idaho to home because the shipping's included. And the heifer calf, even better, is sired by Keneally Commerce. Commerce would be one of my all-time favorite bulls. Massive barrel on the bull, ton of spring of rib, super mellow mannered, put up some really impressive growth ratios and really impressive carcass ratios against really tough competition in the Keneally herd in Nebraska. He's done us a wonderful job here. Been very, very happy with him. We've been using him consistently since 2022. I see no reason to stop. We continue to plug in more and more commerce. The bull's just been excellent. This 90-44 female that is lot 1 is confirmed pregnant with a heifer calf sired by commerce. So you're going to get not 1, but 2 females, both of which are bred to calve easy, grow fast, homozygous black, homozygous polled. They fit excellent. If you're going to sell calves rather than sell beef or carcasses, that's kind of what keeps you in Angus. If you're looking at saying, hey, I want to either sell calves and or I want to sell genetics to people who sell calves, so a weaned calf off the cow, not going all the way through and selling beef, Angus is the fit, right? Whereas if you're looking to be selling beef yourself and or you're looking to be selling to people who then they sell beef, not selling calves into a further supply chain, that's where Akaushi fits best. The Akaushi produces a superior quality carcass. Now, an Angus beef, still wonderful beef. It's a quality product, but it's kind of the baseline in the American consumer environment. You're going to be looking at Angus more as that's what's expected. Whereas Akaushi Wagyu, you know, is going to be above and beyond the baseline, I guess, for quality, for beef eating experience in the United States. So if you're looking for something that's going to give you easy calving, fast growing, homozygous black, homozygous polled cattle that you and or your clients will sell as calves, look at lot 1, look at the Angus female, Faith Rita 90-44. So lot 2, so if you're looking for a red Wagyu or Akaushi female, which red Wagyu and Akaushi interchangeable terms, you're going to be looking for lot 2. This is the lone opportunity to get into a red Wagyu or Akaushi female in this sale. I'm going to have Jacob show a little bit of video here of the 34-64 female. So 34-64, her mother sold in a previous auction. And 34-64 would be a direct Rueshaw daughter. And then this female is her daughter, is a heifer calf, sired by Starlord, a Kaedemaru son, out of 34-64 Rueshaw daughter. So what you're going to get in a female like this and what makes something like this so unique. So this is a heifer calf, is what you'd be receiving if you purchase lot 2. The Fuyuko 55-42 female. you're going to be getting a female that is AWA registered, so registered with the American Wagyu Association. That makes it so you can easily double or triple register these calves, depending on your preference or your client's preferences, with the Akaushi Association and or Australian Wagyu Association. This female's also got an extremely valuable pedigree. So when we look at some of the very highest demand bulls in the entire red Wagyu or Akaushi breed, Rueshaw is going to be the very most valuable bull there is at $22,000, up to $22,000 for a single straw of semen. He'd be the 1975 Japanese national champion. Still very difficult to get a hold of. And that is the sire of the dam of this heifer calf. So she's a granddaughter of 5542 on the bottom side of the pedigree. On the top side of this pedigree, I would say even more exciting than Rueshaw. Rueshaw being the most valuable bull in the breed. The top side of the pedigree, we have the Kaedemaru cow. So this heifer calf in lot 2 is sired by Starlord, which makes her a Kaedemaru granddaughter. So the Kaedemaru cow is the most valuable cow in the breed, plain and simple. From a pedigree standpoint, she is the most unique cow in the breed. This is the only living daughter of Daiten Mitsumaru. That bull never left Japan. His semen never left Japan. So she's the most unique pedigreed cow in the breed. She's the most unique mannered cow in the breed. I mean, that is the mellowest cow, plain and simple, I have ever seen in the red Wagyu breed. And I would be more than willing to, would love to see any and all challengers, I guess, as far as, good quality mellow cows in the breed. I know there's good ones out there with other good breeders, but Kaedemaru is so mellow, and that docility is so needed in the red Wagyu Akaushi breed. So they're going to be the most unique pedigreed cow, going to be the most unique mannered cow. If you look at this cow, just the sheer muscle, the mass, the power, this cow is incredible to look at in person, in the flesh. But looking at that Kaedemaru cow, also going to be our #1 cow, the highest marbling Akaushi female we have ever scanned on actual carcass ultrasound. So you're getting all the pedigree diversity, better manners, better looks, and better marbling. Anyway, most valuable cow in the red Wagyu or Akaushi breed. And looking at that Kaedemaru female, and what you get in lot 2 is you're stacking together both Kaedemaru and Rueshaw as the granddam on the top side of the pedigree and the grandsire on the bottom side of the pedigree. So very, very valuable pedigree on this heifer calf. She comes with free delivery anywhere in the continental United States included. That's lot 2, the Fuyuko 5542 female. Jumping to lot 3. Lot 3 is going to be the rhubarb 4442M bull. This bull has gone down and has done a lease for Travis Jones there in Texas. Appreciate Travis and his purchase of that lease. Now that Travis is done with the bull, we are going to go ahead and sell the 4442 bull. This bull is one of them that's really unique from a performance standpoint. And I apologize not to be able to show you a video of him where he is down in Texas right now. But nice bull. I'm sure Travis would be more than willing to give you his thoughts on the bull, his insight on the bull. You'd be more than welcome to reach out to him. Travis has been on the podcast before, also does Free Advice Fridays on Facebook. Appreciate him and his insights there. But looking at the actual performance on this calf, 74-pound birth weight, 660-pound weaning weight, and that's on nothing but hay and mama's milk. So really, this is a bull I'd comfortably use on heifers. This is a bull with enough gainability to comfortably use on cows. And then pedigree-wise, rhubarb over Tamaru, over Big Al, over Himawari. So really unique pedigree. Really liked the rhubarb bull when I saw him in person there at Heartbrand, and he's a Rueshaw son, so adds that value as well. And then when you look at the dam, the Tamaru by Big Al by Himawari, a sister to this bull produced our Guapissimo bull, which would be our record heaviest weaning calf to date. So anyway, plenty of performance as we look at this pedigree, calving ease as we look at this pedigree. Going to be just a unique deal there. And his mother as well continues in production at 14 years of age. So if you were looking at this lot, we're looking at lot 3 right now, which would be the rhubarb 4442M bull. If you need to breed cows right away, this is the bull you want. If you need something that's got plenty of performance in the pedigree, this is the bull you want. If you need something that has got longevity in the pedigree, this is the bull you want. This is a unique individual. But if you're looking for an 18-month-old bull, a bull that's ready to breed right now, lot 3 is your guy. This is the one shot you've got at a bull that is ready to breed right now. 4442M, going to be a really high quality bull. You'd be welcome to reach out to Travis there if you wanted any further insights on him in the flesh. I'll take you through these following lots that are going to be primarily Akaushi lots that we just filmed just now with Jacob. Went out and went through all of those cattle and got a good look at all of them. We're looking at lot 4. This is going to be the 5606 bull. And love the fact that this bull is cooperating so well. If you can have an individual sit here and be this quiet, be this mellow, be this easy to handle in this setting, this is literally the worst setting in the world to make a bull go off. He's split by himself. We've got 4 of us individuals right here monkeying with him. There's really not a whole lot of anything stopping him from going anywhere other than this is a good-natured bull. Docility, improving docility is hugely important to me and something that I definitely want to continue to improve on. I am sure that Aaron and Billy here with me will not complain if I continue to make them mellower, make them a little bit easier to handle, make more of them like this and less of them that are problem children that cause issues or cause problems. You know, docility is number 1 in our selection criteria because people are way more valuable than cows, plain and simple. I don't care how cool the cow is. If it's going to wipe me, my kids, or my friends out, we're getting rid of it. It's out. We've got to continue to improve docility, continue to make these cattle better to handle, and this bull is an awesome example of that. A bull like this is going to treat you right from an attitude standpoint. A bull like this is going to treat you right from a polled standpoint. So again, we talk about making life easier. You know, when it comes to polled genetics, if you breed horns into your cattle, which the average Akaushi is a horned animal, and frankly, the average Akaushi is going to have some attitude issues. And if we can remove both of those things with a bull like this, we say, hey, they are going to mellow out. They're going to be easier to handle. You can hold them by themselves right in the corner of a temp fence. We're not blowing fences. We're not running around. We're not chasing people. Like, this bull is easy to handle. And when it comes time to dehorn, instead of having to do all the time, effort, energy to go and dehorn those cattle, which is painful for the animal, reduces their performance, opens them up to infection, takes a lot, you know, takes man hours to get that done. I mean, I can tell you for sure, if I ask Aaron here, hey, Aaron, do you prefer polled calves or horned calves at weaning time? What do you think?
Polled calves 100%.
Polled calves 100%. I mean, it's a landslide. There's no question that it is more fun to run an animal through the chute that doesn't need the horns cut and burned than one that does need the horns cut and burned. And a bull calf like this is just so neat in the sense that we say, hey, we're getting all the good of the Akaushi. So we're getting all of that marbling that we love. We're getting that added look and growth relative to the black Wagyu. And we're not getting the docility issues from Angus. So yeah, looking at a calf like this, if we say, hey, we're gonna get the docility, which is so important, we're gonna get the fertility. You know, I mean, this bull was one of a dozen embryos that all came out in the same flush out of the Polled Queen 88 donor. 11 of those 12 stuck. So I mean, all but one of them stuck. Incredibly fertile embryos. This bull calf was born below average for birth weight, so this is a bull that I'd be comfortable using on heifers. So a below average birth weight, so the calving ease is there. So you've got that use on this bull. The growth is there. I mean, these guapo calves are thick, stout, impressive to look at. Really, just enjoyable cattle to be around. And then we've got the polled gene in play, so we're not going to be dealing with those horns. The marbling is there. You know, this bull's granddam is one of our all-time best for marbling. His granddam is our 919 female that's done 300,000 in direct progeny sales. She'd be a straight foundation bred cow, being a big Al over Hikari, over Shigemaru, over Ume. So this bull's got it going on. I mean, end to end, a calf like this, especially if you can get a good deal on him, and then get him delivered free of charge anywhere in the continental United States, included in the bid price. I mean, gosh, what a calf to tie into in this 5606 calf here. I can't think of any reasons you wouldn't want to. You know, this bull is going to bring together the Guapo bull, who has been extremely popular, polled bull for us and has produced a really nice set of calves, including this bull. And then his mother to be our Polled Queen 88. We can go ahead and throw a picture of the Polled Queen 88 into the video right about here, just to show who that female is and show how she looks. Really impressive, really good looking female. Who is in turn backed by that 919 cow, who we know produces marbling. I'll have you throw in a quick image right here, Jacob, of some steaks that we just harvested, just produced, that are going to be full siblings to the Atreides and Spectrum studs. So it would be steaks that are from a son of 919. So those steaks would be from a sibling to the dam of this bull. And if you take a look, if we can get all those things together, we get the docility, we get the pole gene, we get the muscle, we get the look, we get the carcass, you get the free delivery on a young bull calf that you can deliver how or develop how you want. Gosh, there's just a lot of reasons to tie into this bull. This is going to be the 5606 calf, lot 4 in the June 2026 auction here at Christensen Genetics. All right, so the bull we're looking at right now, this is going to be the 5550 bull. So this is CGX Commerce 5550. This bull is going to stack 3 of my all-time favorite individuals in Commerce over Ripper over 768, the DDA Jenna 768 female. Looking at this 5550 bull, and those 3 individuals he stacks in Commerce over Ripper over 768, really a unique pedigree here. This is a bull calf you could realistically get a pretty darn good buy on. He does come with free delivery anywhere in the continental United States included. But looking at a calf like that, Commerce is the sire, and Commerce is going to be a thick, big-barreled, easy-mannered kind of a bull. Saw him in person in Tiffin, Ohio in fall of 2022. Commerce, the sire of this bull calf, smoked his contemporaries there at Keneally's, which is a big contemporary group. So, I mean, this bull's going up against 300 head of bulls and turning in big-time ratios. Weaning weight ratio 125, so 25% heavier than the average calf there. 185 on IMF, so 85% higher than the average calf there for marbling. And then just a huge barreled bull, super mannered, great to look at. So Commerce is one of my all-time favorites. And look at this calf. I mean, you look at him right now, look at the way that calf centers up, squares up for us, and is giving us that look there. The black calf is the one we're looking at here, the 5550. I mean, big, thick, stout, impressive, heavy muscled kind of an individual. Sired by Commerce, who's one of my all-time favorites, and then his grandsire, so the sire of his dam, is going to be the Ripper bull. Now, Ripper's a Canadian-bred bull, Reich Ripper 37B. And Ripper, I mean, just as impressive a bull on the hoof as I have ever seen in my life. I mean, incredible amount of muscle in the bull, incredible amount of top in the bull, and then just athletic as a cat. I mean, smooth, easy moving kind of an individual. Stayed in live cover service till he was 9. Impressive longevity there. So you're stacking together 2 really impressive bulls, and this bull's sire and grandsire, Commerce and Ripper, would be 2 of my favorites. And then his granddam is going to be the DDA Jenna 768 female. So Jenna 768 weaned 13 calves at a 107 weaning weight ratio, calved in the same 30-day window every year, in and out. So, I mean, we're looking at a female that lasted a long time, a highly fertile female, a female that's getting getting those calves weaned at an impressive figure. So a 107 weaning weight ratio, meaning her average calf was 7% heavier than the average calf in that group. So not only did she stay in production for an extended period of time, not only did she wean an impressive number of calves, but she weaned them at an impressive level. I mean, 13 at 107 is almost unheard of. There's an awful lot of cows that are going to wash out 7 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old, to have made it into production as long as she did, to be in her teens. And then, I mean, you can look at a picture of this cow. Maybe we'll even throw a picture of this cow into the video here real quick. But the DDA Jenna 768, still super level topped, bold sprung, perfect footed, perfect uddered as a teenage cow. And to look like that after producing like that, just an incredibly unique individual. So the buyer of this bull calf, realistically, you're going to get a good buy. Realistically, you're going to get free delivery anywhere in the continental US. Realistically, you're going to have thickness, stoutness, muscle, and you're going to have a really impressive, long-lasting kind of a cow to anchor that pedigree out. So the steer we're looking at here is the 4466 steer. So this is going to be a full-blood Big Al son. 4466, this is an opportunity to take and feed on an animal, put all that feed, put all that time, put all that effort into an animal that is going to yield a really good steak. It's kind of one of those that I look at, like, if you're going to put all that time and effort in, you just as well be sure that you're going to get exactly the kind of a result that you want. And looking at this 4466, I mean, this is an impeccable pedigree. This is going to be a Rueshaw, or a Big Al over Rueshaw, over Shigemaru, over Akiko. So I mean, just stellar pedigree. We'll put up an image of a steak here from a really similarly bred steer. So the image of this steak is sired by Rueshaw XXX out of a Big Al cow. So it's going to be a Rueshaw over Shigemaru over Akiko on the top side and Big Al on the bottom. So exact same as this bull, just inverted, right? So this bull's Big Al on top, Rueshaw Shig Akiko on bottom. The steak image you're looking at is Rueshaw Shig Akiko on top, and his Big Al on bottom. And so very, very, very similarly bred to what that stake is. So I mean, if you're looking at this steer, this steer is already going to be over a year old. And so all he's going to need, I mean, he's already got the age to him. He's just going to need the feed put into him. He's just sitting out right now on pasture, as you can see, just out here on grass. And so all he's going to need is some feed put into him. If you want to be sure you're going to get the carcass that you need, go ahead and tie into a steer like that. Okay, so this is going to be 4438. This is going to be an American Wagyu Association registered Big Al son. If you're going to feed a steer, feed a really good one. This steer is over a year old. All he needs is feed poured to him to take him up over that 1,500 pound mark, and you're going to have an awesome carcass. But look at that steer. You can see the frame he's got there. The frame's there. All that's left to do is fill it. Go ahead and throw a year of feed into this bull or into this steer, and you're going to have fantastic, fantastic steaks, sired by Big Al, American Wagyu Association registered. That is going to be the 4438 steer. So this is the 1270Z cow. We're offering an IVF aspiration on this cow in our auction. This is going to be the closest living descendant of the original import cow Hitomi in the entire American Wagyu Association database. So with as tiny a gene pool as ever left Japan of these Akaushi cattle, there were only ever 13 females and 6 males. So with that small of a gene pool, it is critically important to have as many outcross options as you can, as many different bloodlines available as you can. And this female offers Tamamaru over Big Al over Himawari, so an incredibly unique pedigree. And she's posing right up. Perfect shot right there. Look at this female. I mean, this female is going to be 13 years young right now, still in fantastic flesh, bred back again via AI to female sexed semen to guapo. Posed right up there for us. Excellent udder, excellent feet. Just showing off right here in the pasture. What a beautiful shot. I mean, we can see the mountains behind her, we can see the pasture behind her, but most importantly, we can just see that cow is posed perfectly as she sits right there, just showing off for us in the pasture. We're out here filming this on June 3rd, so as we get out into the cattle this time of year, they're not right there at home, so they're a little bit harder to get to, a little bit harder to get a video on, a little bit harder to get a picture on. But wow, what a look at that female there. I mean, just squared up perfect for us. That's an incredible shot, an incredible angle on that female. Again, we're going to be selling an IVF aspiration on that cow, so you can take and mate that cow to your choice of sires. Look at that female stretch out for us. Look at her show off. Absolutely fantastic. Looking for a 13-year-old female and bred again via heifer sexed semen to the guapo bull. We're going to offer an IVF aspiration in this sale, so the winning bidder on this lot gets the chance to take this cow, take this incredibly unique American Wagyu Association papered Tamamaru by Big Al by Hitomi cow, and can mate this cow to their choice of sires. So you can put whatever bull in the breed you'd like to put over top. Like I mentioned, we went to guapo. Heifer sexed semen is what we did for her to make a polled heifer calf is what she's carrying. But the winning bidder will have the chance to use whatever bull they want. It is one flat price for the aspiration, and then you pay for whatever semen you'd prefer, and then you do pay for the embryo production costs separately, which are going to be $200 an embryo. Those embryos will be made by Christensen Genetics, who uses transova media and processes. Looking at this 1270 female, I mean, just an incredibly unique female from a pedigree standpoint, an incredibly unique female from a longevity standpoint, an incredibly unique female from a paperwork standpoint. Being American Wagyu Association registered, she can also be dual registered with the Akaushi Association and or triple registered with the Australian Wagyu Association. So this female gives you an outcross pedigree, proven longevity, still looks fantastic, still fertile, still productive. We will guarantee at least 3 embryos if you use female sexed semen, or at least 5 embryos if you use conventional semen, with the hope being you'll get at least 1 heifer calf from this cow. But what a unique opportunity. We've never offered an aspiration on this cow before. You can mate her to your choice of sires. CGX Hitomi 1270Z is the female we're looking at here. Mark onto your calendars June 24th at 6 p.m. Mountain Time to be there when this auction closes. Make sure you subscribe at gotanycows.com so that you get an email at auction open and at auction close. If you need any help at all with anything, please call or text me 208-589-9988. You're welcome to shoot me a text there and or call me there. You can give me an email at seth@christensengenetics.com. And look forward to having you on the auction. Appreciate you taking the time to listen to the podcast, and we'll catch you next time on the Got Any Cows podcast. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Got Any Cows podcast. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcasts, and visit us anytime at gotanycows.com.